Hey everybody, we're back with Slay the Spire. So last time we had a Watcher victory after a crushing silent failure. So we're going to play the Defect today, and we'll see what he's about. You can see he starts with a cracked core. At the start of each combat, channel one lightning. So he can channel orbs or evoke them for an effect. And you see up here is the four kinds of orbs he can do. There's lightning, ice, dark, and energy orbs. And we'll get more into that as we get here. So let's see what we get. We haven't played as him yet, so we don't have a lot of options. I'm probably just going to go for Niao's Lament here. See if there's a decent path. Well, let's do that and see if we can't get a get some cards to power us up for those elite fights. So you see, channel one lightning makes a lightning orb, and its evoke is to deal 8 damage to an enemy, which we will do like that. So it can get very powerful, and we've immediately been offered some lightning orb choices, and we're going to go with Storm. The idea with Storm is to cram as many powers as you can into this deck and use them to channel tons of lightning. So powers in particular with the Defect are extremely powerful, even more so than they are with the Silent. So let's see what we got here. Focus, it increases the effectiveness of channeled orbs, and it's a power. We're going to go ahead and take that. And I'm going to take a recursion to evoke the orbs and not lose them like his starter card Dual Cast does. So let's kill these guys. That was our last freebie fight. We're going to take one more recursion, and we probably do not need any more of those. We're not going to get cursed right now. And we're going to smith. We're going to smith Storm, since that will be the focus of our deck for the time being. We'll get some max HP. And unfortunately we don't have enough for another defragment, which would have been great. And bag of preparation, it's really good. And we're going to go ahead and take on this elite. So we're going to Storm, we're going to self-repair, and we're going to channel one lightning. We're going to take a little bit of damage here, but that's okay, because now we've got 3 orbs at our disposal. So even if we get garbage hands because of those dazes, we're at least doing 9 damage. And recursion, you'll see, gives us our orb back, whereas dual cast does not. And that's something to keep in mind as you're playing the Defect, is it worth it losing my orb for what I'm going to do? And a lot of times it is. Sometimes you don't want to. Recursion's especially good if you're building dark orbs, because you want them to keep cycling backwards into your into the back of the stack here. So we're going to do that. And that. Oh, that's so close. So like I said, a little bit of damage, not that big a deal. We did manage to take 2 of them out in 1 turn, and that's the end of him. Okay. Capacitor, gain 2 orb slots, very good for us. We're going to go ahead and upgrade Defragment. And we're going to go for the 2 upgrades. Because again, we're fighting the Hexaghost, and we want our HP to be on the lower side, below 50% if possible. In spite of that, we're still going to play these self-repair. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. So there's our capacitor, and you'll see gaining orb slots. That gives us more room for them. I think the maximum is 10. It's been a while since I played a Defect. And there's what focus does. Yep, adds 2 right there. Focus, like strength or dexterity in other characters. Okay, so this is if you have a frost deck, deal damage equal to 2 times the number of frost channeled. There's a version of that for Thunder too, which we'll probably want, especially before you start unlocking cards. The Defect mostly just has access to lightning. We're going to start upgrading these recursions now. Alright, let's see what we can do. Well, we did get one of them. And we had bronze scales. I didn't see that earlier. Alright. See more frost right there. Double energy. It can be good. I don't think it's good for our deck. And we're going to want to get the other recursion. Recursions are going to be replacing our strikes as our main form of damage. So instead of dealing 6 damage, we will deal, base 8, depending on, and then more if we have focus with recursions. And they're free, so it makes them far more valuable. Especially since we're off the floor now. We're about to finish floor 1, so there won't be any more gremlin knob fights. So let's do that, and that, and that, and that. Okay, so this is going to be a really hard hit. But he's also going to take 18 damage. Whew, that's some damage. Hopefully we'll live through this. We're going to have to draw into those recursions fast here. You can kind of start to see how powerful orbs can be, because we're only halfway through his first cycle and he's down to 60 health. So we're going to go defend, defend. Yeah, we should be okay. And there you go. Ooh, these are all really good. So all for one, if you have a bunch of 0-cost cards, you can just play them all out of your hand, play all for one, and play them all again. This is very good for claw decks. Claw being a 0-cost attack that gets stronger every time you use it. Reboot, also a good way to get back to cards you want. But we're going to go with electrodynamics. Not only is it the power, but our lightning now hits all enemies, and that is really good. I want to be able to see enemy intent because we're not building a defensive deck. And as good as that is, we're going to go with his unique relic so that every 2 turns we're getting more slots for our lightning. Because we're going to be channeling a ton of lightning. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we're going to start going this way. This is just me being nitpicky, but I don't like how electrodynamics slows down the animation for your lightning strikes. If you notice, it's going a little slower. Because I'm pretty sure, I got it on fast mode for a reason. So we're going to do that, and that. And hopefully he'll just kill himself on our spikes here. Because we don't have a very attack-heavy deck. And you can see it's taken a while to chip down his armor. It's alright, we got that. And that. Okay, that was not too bad. So there's Doom and Gloom. I'll let you read what Dark does. Barrage can be really good. That'll give us a way to deal damage while we're channeling orbs, especially with Inverter. So we'll take that just as a stopgap measure. I guess we're going to take 20 damage. Okay. Second copy of Electrodynamics, though. A lot of choices here. Let's see how much we have left after we remove a card. Because honestly, I don't want dual cast. I want to be able to keep my orbs. Yeah, we could get Ball Lightning. Let's get rid of Snecko Oil and get an Entropic Brew. That's going to refill our potions after we use those up. Which will be good, because it can give you rare potions too, which are going to be helpful on this floor. Alright, so again, going to take a little bit of damage, not that big a deal. Once we get the Engine of Destruction going here with these orbs, we're usually in pretty good shape. So we're going to gain our focus. We're going to channel 2 lightning. It's 35 damage a turn. And just for fun, I'm still going to do that. Alright, second copy of Storm. See if there's anything we can afford in the shop. No, we're not doing a pure Defect attack deck, so none of that. I'm going to go for those 2 elites and take the 2 upgrades rather than go for that elite, because there's still a lot of things I want to upgrade, namely Zap, Electrodynamics, start upgrading these defends. Nope, I don't want to become cursed. Go for Zap next, another 0 cost card, which will let us play more of our powers. So Entropic Brew just got a lot better. It's going to give us 4 potions when we run out. And I'm going to sidetrack myself a little bit. Our HP is getting pretty low, and I'm not so sure we could take on 2 elites in a row. We're going to do that. That is really good. Ritual Dagger is largely useless for this character, so let's take some more gold. Well, there you go. Alright, so definitely that. Definitely that. Definitely that. And that. Yeah, that was really good. So Scry 6, I don't know if we went over Scry with the Watcher, but that's what Scry does right over here. Now the Watcher is actually the character that has tons of Scry options, and it was introduced here with the Defect, and it's alright with him. You know, it's a way to get to like your Thunder Strike or whatever you need for him, but it didn't really come into its own until the Watcher, so now Prismatic Shards are really good, more so than it already was, because Scry is a viable build with the Watcher and with other characters if you have the Prismatic Shard. So Tempest, as good as that is, that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for Thunder Strike. We will take a leap that we will upgrade immediately, though, for this upcoming elite fight. Yeah, this was the fight I was worried about. So let's see here. We will do that. We might pop off with a really powerful barrage once our orb slots are filled. And it's also going to help having these thorns, because like the Hexaghost, he's going to be hitting himself constantly. Alright, well this is going pretty well. Do that, and that. Not too bad. Bag of marbles, not too bad either, but again, we're not doing a purely attack deck with him, so not exactly the best thing. Okay. We're going to go charge battery and get the extra energy next turn. But you can see we didn't even take advantage of the bag of marbles. Really no reason to with this character. You know what? Let's do that again. I will take the damage. Okay. So he's about to debuff us with pretty much everything. But that's alright. We're going to do that, and this is the round that I was talking about. Let's do a massive barrage. And he should be dead. Oh, whoops. Mismath there. Now he's dead. A little bit more gold. Multicast can be good, but again, not what I'm looking for in this deck. We don't need that right now. And we're not doing a rainbow build, so we're going to ignore that. But that's okay. Let's see what relic we get. We can take a Philosopher's Stone. You know, we've got 85 health, and by the time we start taking damage and get 50% or below, we've already got like 6-7 orbs going, so Philosopher's Stone won't be that bad. And to mitigate the +1 strength enemies get, we'll look for more copies of Leap, or maybe even consider a Glacier, which is upgraded to 10 block and 2 ice orbs, so... Alright, well, most of these paths are garbage. They all have us fighting 3 enemies at the start, so we're going to go this way. We're going to storm, we're going to charge battery. And we'll do a barrage for a little bit of damage. But see, 4 energy is allowing us to play out our hand, whereas before we kept having extra strikes. And strikes are just going to help us shorten these fights, which frankly we need to. We don't have enough defensive power in this deck to withstand long battles. And we are going to take a Go for the Eyes just to help mitigate his multi-attacks, and this is the Timekeeper. Okay. I'm going to Storm. I'm going to Leap Electrodynamics. It's important to get that out as early as possible, since you want to kill all of them roughly on the same turn. We'll take one of them out. Let's go ahead and drink our Entropic Brew as well. And we'll drink that. Alright. Help us avoid taking some damage and heal up here. Yeah, we'll take a heat sinks. Now, if we were fighting the awakened one, we would be screwed because we're playing tons of powers. We would definitely need some frost orbs in the deck at that point. Luckily, though, we're just going against the timekeeper, and he ends your turn automatically and gains, I think, 2 strength whenever you play 12 cards, which is fine for us because that gives us 3 turns. We're usually only playing 4 cards a turn, and a lot of those are, you know, just defending while our orbs do all the damage. We should be fine against him. Donu and Dekkas I would worry about. For sure they would be hurting us pretty badly. They scale too fast for the amount of defense we have in this deck, which, as you can see, is not that much. Okay, so we're going to do that. Mitigate a little bit of this damage. Still hurts. Alright, and he will be dead at the end of this turn. Got a skill potion there. Genetic algorithm is only good if it's one of the very first cards you get. Hello World we do not want. Even though it's a power, at the start of your hand turn, add a random common card to your hand. That's going to chunk up our deck too bad. We need to be able to cycle through these 2 recursions and our leap, especially in the upcoming fight. Because if you look, we have 22 cards, and we're going to be taking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards out of this deck, so that gives us a 15-card deck. We don't want to chunk that up with a whole ton of common cards. We'll go ahead and do that. And we will throw that, and we will do this. So here's Glacier. We're going to get some defensive orbs, and that'll hopefully help keep us alive. Okay, we really need our electrodynamics though. Ouch. Ooh, a little bit of damage. Tungsten Rod is great. 1 less HP loss. That pretty much negates the 1 extra strength I get. So that is really good. We're going to skip all those. Alrighty. Not too bad. I wish we had gotten to play our self-repair, though. 2 heat sinks is way too much. That's not going to do us any good, besides summoning an extra 2 lightning orbs max. If you apply a debuff to an enemy, do we apply debuffs to an enemy? No. So not useful. Okay. Upgrade electrodynamics. Totally useless. We have no unupgraded skills. So we're just going to rest back to full for this upcoming elite fight. And if we do really well on him, we'll fight that other one. I'm a bit conservative on third floor elites. I like to just ensure my victory, because even though we have a powerful deck, do we have a winning deck? Not necessarily. The Timekeeper hits insanely hard, and as I discussed before, our weakness right now is that we only have 2 really good defensive cards. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Give him a little what for there. This is where the boot would really come in handy, because we could still hit him while we're waiting, but at least we can do that. So what we're going to want to do here is hopefully draw the barrage on turns where he is not intangible. Whew. It's heat sinks. Capacitor to draw some more cards. Oof, that still hurts. Pentagraph's going to help. Hopefully we can just upgrade in the final spot, and we don't need any of those. Alright, we got tons of money here, so we're going to take Anchor, start each combat with 10 block. We're going to take a Defragment. We're going to take a Boot Sequence. And we are going to remove a card. We're going to take out one of these regular strikes. And get a Swift Potion. Alrighty. I'm not going to go for him. If it's a big giant head, we're pretty much screwed, so we get a rare relic anyways for beating this boss. That's a much better deal than potentially dying on an elite fight. So we're going to do it this way so we can start drawing some cards. Self-repair, gonna capacitor, we're gonna do that. Nice. And we got Nunchaku, totally useless for us. Another storm. These are all good, I'm not saying they're bad, but we don't need another storm. It's going to be hard to play, honestly. Defragment. We need more focus. Alright, so here we are at the Time Eater. And you can see he's counting cards, and whenever you play 12, ends your turn and gains 2 strength, which is bad because he's already got +1 strength. And we are going to drink the plated armor potion. But that's alright, we're fully defended. And we're going to want to play as few cards as possible. Just enough to defend ourselves and get orbs going. So that way, hopefully, he'll only buff himself like every 3 turns. 1, 2, 3. That is rough. That's the one we needed. We're going to do that just to hopefully get him down to his second phase. When he gets 50% or below, he heals himself back to 50% and removes all debuffs. And we honestly really need him to get to that point. And we just want the extra energy for that turn. And we're going to not play any cards, so we have 6 cards to defend ourselves against this turn. Okay, so we got 4 cards that we can play next turn. Hopefully they're defensive. Thank God for Tungsten Rod. Man, I keep underestimating the hell out of this relic. Okay. And he killed himself on our thorns. A stunning victory, if I do say so myself. Let's see. Yeah, pretty bad score, but that's alright. We are going to get his first series of unlocks, and let's go ahead and see what those are. Rebound, deal 9 damage, put the next card you play this turn on top of your draw pile. Very good card. Equilibrium, gain 13 block, and Retain. Again, Retain, he had a few cards, but it really didn't become a viable mechanic until the Watcher, who has a ton of Retain cards as well. And Echo Form, the first card you play each turn is played twice. Echo Form is absolutely game-breaking, and it is a fantastic card. So that is it for the Watcher, or the Defect, whoever he is. We will be back next time, and we will maybe go back and try to do a silent run. That way we can unlock the path to the heart if we want to go ahead and fight him. So, y'all have a great day.